Hi, this is Sanna Maria at I Am. I'm so glad to be here with you today. Today we start Black Belt in Cognition. Isn't that really cool? To just, increase and then it totally expand and explore and perhaps even explode. Who knows? The inner connection. Because I am quite certain you have not worked so much with your inner self to manage your thoughts, to be in command of what you're thinking, to know why you have these thoughts or why you have these emotions. Maybe your today is a function of your responses as a child. What was scareful for you as a child? What scared you? And you're sort of prolonging that in your grown-up life. And that's because you haven't grown your inside. You know how to do math and you know how to read and you're very smart and a very good professional, maybe a good athlete, and maybe you make a lot of money and all of this. But still perhaps there's an emptiness inside and you wonder, is this it? And today we start. Yoo-hoo! I'm so excited. I think also, this is something we just have to do. We have in Sweden had yesterday the most awful day. It was completely terrible, of course, because there was a school shooting. So it's so natural to ask oneself, how can these terrible things happen? How can someone choose to kill other people like that? Why? And this why, I think, is also reasonable to ask, how can someone hit a child? How can someone hit another human being? How can someone kill someone? How can someone molest, rape, or hurt another person? What does this come from? Why? And I would say it's a disconnection. It's a disconnection on the inside where there is like a lack of understanding. There's a lack of really feeling the compassion. There's a lack in connection with heart. There's a lack of connection in reality. What does this really mean? To understand that others are actually very much real people, real animals. They do feel, they do experience, and their lives matters completely and totally. And I think this is sort of this lack, like there is a, it hasn't been integrated. There's, there needs to be a building together on the inside. Especially for people that are like living in their history or just planning ahead in the future and wanting everything for themselves, or are in the wounds and are thinking everybody are so bad towards me, so I will be angry and I will give them back. I will hurt them and I will kill them, or I will these things. I will be the hero. So I will hurt others to be the hero. These are all a lack of inner growth. So when I shared last time that this is my dream is for every person and every animal and every part of our world to be in harmony and to live well and to be in happiness and to like be in the balance with each other, to have the trust and faith, to live good. And this is possible. The pollution of the world is a symptom of us human beings being unbalanced. This is the inner school that we haven't done. we have trained this one, but not here. This is what we're missing. We're missing our inside. We're thinking like, if I can read and write, and if I can do a good job, then I have done everything that I'm supposed to do. But the inside is not there. Perhaps it's still like the little child. Perhaps the inside is like a 3-year-old that is like, oh, I'm the best in the world. No one else matters. It's only me. Me. Because they haven't grown yet in their mentality to understand, to relate to what is outside of themselves as well. That is the 3-year-old. It's very, very natural. But when you have a grown-up that has the inside, the capacity on the inside, understanding on the inside of a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, that is very harmful. So to honor everybody that becomes, the unwilling victim that are being hurt like this. Like in the shooting yesterday, at least 11 people have lost their lives. I think then in that there is a responsibility to choose a path to grow your inside from the little child. So also the inside is grown up as the physical body. This is the way how we can create beauty together. To take responsibility for ourselves and to actually train ourselves. I think there is a huge lack of information and competence and information on how to evolve ourselves. And we have so much more we can do and to give. And the words we use today, they do matter. And in a sense, they also create matter. They make matter. Words make matter. Our thoughts make matter. So if the words are just on the inside, or if we have taken them out of our body and shared them, they do matter. So do you have, if you think about yourself, do you have, if you would put a word on your inner longing of what it is that you are sort of perhaps chasing after, or how you would, if you have, just this longing, do you have an inner longing? And what word would you put on that? You can write it in the comments if you want to. Just, your word, whatever it is. For me, it has been trust for many, 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 many years. For me, it has been difficult with trust. And so I've been longing for that. I've been longing for the trust. And trust is a beautiful word, especially in Swedish, because it's called tillit. And tillit in Swedish, trust in Swedish, it's like to lean back and rest into trust. It's like faith. You like lean back and just rest into it, into the trust. That's a faith. And that is also tillit. And tillit, the word, it's beautiful because it's has the same meaning and the same spelling if you read it from the left to the right or the right to the left. It doesn't matter. It's the same word. And it stands very much for that you need to have trust in your inside, from the inside, to give it to the outside, to the people around you. If you don't have trust within you towards yourself, if yourself cannot trust you, then how can someone else on the outside trust you? And how can you trust what's outside of you if you cannot trust yourself? So we will start there. I would love you to just dive into, if you have a word which is something you are longing for, or that you feel a lack of, that you want. And also to just explore the word trust. Do you have trust in yourself? And I don't mean like, do you have the capacity to deliver? I wonder, do you fully trust yourself on how you speak to yourself? Like your inner self, if you are telling yourself, oh, I'm not doing this good enough. Someone will find out at some point that I am not fully the perfect person to do this job. Like the imposter syndrome. If you have that, or if you're thinking, I am not strong enough, I'm not a good enough parent, I'm not a good enough partner to the person I love, or they are not meeting up my expectations. When we do all of this thinking, what happens is it that there becomes a dissonance. It's not balanced, not a beautiful melody within yourself. There becomes a distrust within you towards yourself. And if you can't trust yourself, I mean, what would that give? How will you react with other people? Will you be suspicious? Will you be thinking that perhaps they will hurt you? Will you be like leaning back and thinking, I be dismissive? Or will you take a lot of place and be like, I need control and order. I need to control everything and everybody around me. So I have a structure which I can trust, because I can't trust myself because I'm being quite mean. I have unpleasant thoughts towards myself where I'm thinking I'm not good enough from different perspectives. So because of this, I will implement it on everything and everybody around me. Yes. Let's just breathe in that. What we experience in life starts with ourselves. If we want to trust the world, we need to start to trust ourselves. And we need to build that in a connection with the most vulnerable part of ourselves. Which is your most vulnerable part? Do you have something which is like you really need to hold and caress and be careful with? Do you have that? I know that I do. I have within me this little 4-year-old girl, and she has like sparkles in her eyes, and she has this playing around with fantasy, and she really just wants to be hugged and loved and accepted as she is. So when I tell myself, oh, Sanna Maria, you are not doing this good enough, you are not speaking with a good voice, or you are not stretching your back properly, you should do that better, then what I do is that I'm telling exactly that to the most vulnerable part of myself. I'm saying exact those words. Oh, what a terrible voice you have, to my inner 4-year-old girl. And what happens then is that she withdraws and she wants to hide. And she perhaps has tears in her eyes and a thorn in her heart. Because I am being mean to the most vulnerable part of myself. And if I do that, no one around me will ever trust me, and I will never be able to lean back in trust and to have faith in the goodness of all, because I've started with being unpleasant towards myself. So I want to give you this assignment to just write down everything negative you are thinking about yourself. Like the total list. Like just do this, just write it down without thinking, without managing it, without like uh, thinking you're going to have an A on this exercise. Just do the full list of everything you think where you are not delivering where you would like to deliver on, where you are not good enough. It can be that you're thinking you are not beautiful enough, or not strong enough, or not good enough parent, or not good enough daughter or son or father, or whatever it is that you're thinking about yourself. My legs are crooked, my nose are too big, or my belly is flappy. Everything, just write it down. And when you have written it down, in connection to every negative thought, sentence, judgment about yourself, write its counterparts in the positive. So if you start with that, and then we will bring this with us. So next time we will speak again, and I will tell you what to do as a next step. Now we are starting to build a foundation within ourselves. This is being part of the solution of the world instead of being part of the problem. It starts with ourselves. Okay? Love and kisses. Ta-ta for now, and take good care. Thank you. Bye-bye.